There was a time in South Africa when the color of your skin decided everything. Where you could live, where you could walk, what job you could get, even whether your life had value. This system was called apartheid, and for decades it controlled an entire nation. But in the darkness of oppression, a story of resistance was born. And one man would become its face. His name was Nelson Mandela. Apartheid began officially in 1948. But its roots were deeper, older, more brutal. It was a system built on one idea: racial separation. Black South Africans were forced into separate neighborhoods, schools, hospitals, buses, separate everything. And they were denied political power in their own land. The majority of the population had almost no rights. Imagine living in your homeland but being treated like a stranger. That was daily life for millions. But something was beginning to rise. Resistance. Nelson Mandela was not born a symbol. He was a man. A student, a lawyer, a father. But he saw injustice and refused to stay silent. He joined the African National Congress, a movement fighting for equality. At first, their protests were peaceful, but the system did not respond with peace. It responded with violence. After years of peaceful protests, nothing changed: mass arrests, killings, suppression. So Mandela and others made a painful decision to resist more directly. The government called him a terrorist. The world began to watch. In 1962, Mandela was arrested. In 1964, he was sentenced to life in prison. He was sent to Robben Island, a cold prison surrounded by ocean. Small cell, hard labor, years of isolation. The goal was simple: break him. But something unexpected happened. They failed. Instead of silence, Mandela became stronger. He studied law in prison. He wrote. He inspired others. Even from inside a cell, his voice began to grow outside. The world started to notice. By the 1980s, pressure on South Africa was exploding. Countries around the world demanded change, sanctions, protests, boycotts. Mandela had become more than a man. He had become a symbol of freedom. In 1990, something unimaginable happened. Nelson Mandela was released. After 27 years, he walked free. No bitterness, no revenge, only a message of unity. In 1994, South Africa held its first democratic elections. For the first time, black South Africans could vote freely, and Nelson Mandela became President of South Africa. From prisoner to president, Mandela's story is not just about politics. It is about patience, endurance, forgiveness. He spent 27 years in prison but did not allow hatred to define him. Instead, he helped build a new nation. And maybe the most powerful lesson of all is this: sometimes, the longest walk to freedom begins in the darkest cell. If you want more untold African history stories like this, subscribe. Because history is not just what happened. It is what we choose to remember.